So guys, welcome to KDP series part 4. In this part of the series, you are going to learn how to properly format your manuscript for your ebook and your paperback book before you upload them on Amazon KDP. Now, in the world of Amazon Kindle publishing, formatting is very important. As a matter of fact, a book is practically useless when you don't format it for Amazon KDP. And that's because your book has to appear organized with the right dimensions and also appear beautiful for the reader to enjoy reading it. So in this video, you are going to learn all there is to know about formatting on Amazon. You're going to learn the basic things that you need to know about formatting. So that said, let's head straight to business. First, you will need to prepare your manuscript. So what is manuscript? Manuscript is just like a raw version of your book before you finally format it. So that's what we call manuscript, the raw information, like everything you've put together to make up your book. That is what we call the manuscript. So you need to first have that before you even think about formatting your book, of course. So in the previous part of the series, I showed you how you can write a book even without being a professional writer. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend that you do. It's showing at the top right corner of your screen right now. So you click it to watch the video and then come back to this one when you are done. Now, after ensuring that your book is complete and thoroughly edited for grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors, we will now begin formatting. So now, there are two types of books on Amazon Kindle publishing. We have the ebook, which is also regarded as a Kindle format. This is the type of book you can read on your Kindle device and any other electronic device like your mobile phone, your tablet, and the likes. Now, this is the Kindle device showing on your screen right now. Now, the second type of book on Amazon Kindle publishing that you can create is the physical book. This could be paperback or hardcover. As the name implies, it comes in physical form and can of course be delivered to the buyer wherever he or she is located. Now, there are 6 segments you need to have to make your book complete. The first is the title. The second is the disclaimer. The third is the table of contents. The fourth is introduction. The fifth is the chapter. And by the way, an average book should have about 30,000 to 40,000 words. I know many of you always ask this question. So this is the correct answer to the question. An average book should have about 30,000 to 40,000 words. So now the final segment you should have in your book is your conclusion. Please make sure that your manuscript has all of this before you begin formatting. So that's that about that. Now, we are going to work on paperback version first and then the ebook version after. The ebook only needs a few tweaks, so we'll work on that later, which means that the ebook can be created from the paperback after we are done formatting the paperback. So guys, we are going to work on the paperback version first. So we are going to be using Microsoft Word to format our book. So that's the software we are going to be using. This is the software right now displayed on your screen. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best software for formatting your book. So that's just my personal opinion. As far as I'm concerned, Microsoft Word is the best application, the best software to format your book. So that's just by the way. So now the first thing I usually like to do is modify the layout size from letter to a custom size of 5 by 8 inches. And that is because the specific size for paperback on Amazon Kindle publishing is 5 by 8. Well, how do you go about this? All you just need to do is head over to this pointer that says layout. You hit on it and then it brings you here. You come to size. You hit on size. From size, you now scroll all the way down to more paper size. You hit on that as well. And then over here, you type in 5. And then over here, you type in 8. So that is that about that. And you click on OK. So this is the size that we're going to be working on to create our paperback. I'm going to be dropping the specific sizes for each book format in the description. I'm going to be dropping a link to Amazon website that will show you all there is to know about the size specification and any other information that you might be needing. So let's move on. Now, I like to view my work on multiple pages, like on 2 pages side by side. So I'm going to switch from viewing it as a single page to multiple pages in order to enhance my viewing experience of the book. Well, at least for me, I like to view it that way, but it's not compulsory. So you don't have to do it because I am doing this exact thing, but that's what I like doing though. So I'll just head over to view and then I change to multiple page and increase the size back because it just reduced the zoom size. So this is okay. So now that that has been done, I've already copied my manuscript. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to paste. Okay, this always happens, not in all cases, but then I'm going to go back now and change the size, the layout size to what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go 5 by 8. So I'm going to make it 5 by 8. So okay, so now it's back to the way it should have been from the beginning. Now that we've done this, so what do we do next? I'm going to increase this to 100%, so it's better like this to get a better view. Now I'm going to adjust the font size. I'm going to generalize the font size, and then I'm going to start editing the ones that need editing, because majority of the words here will be in size 12. Just the headings and the title would be in a different size. So what I need to do is I'll just highlight everything and change everything to size 12. So how do I do that? I highlight Control A and I head over to this place and I select size 12. Everything just changed to size 12. So now I have done that. So after that, you need to highlight again, and I'm going to change the spacing to 1.15 like this. So we have that. So now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add space before paragraph, so that for every paragraph there's going to be a space before the next paragraph, so my book can look organized. So now the next thing to do is to justify. You're still highlighting everything. So the next thing to do is to justify. What does that mean? It means the edges of the text need to be aligned. So in Microsoft Word, you can just hit on Ctrl J or Command J for those of you using a MacBook, or head over to this spot here and just hit on this spot here. It's going to justify. So that's how to justify. So after that has been done, let's focus on the title page now and make the title page look like a proper title page. So this is the title page here. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come to the title. Let me remove this out to find. Let me just make the title 4 words. So what I want to do first is I'm going to hit on Ctrl E to centralize, and then I'm going to highlight the title page. I'm going to make it bold. Ctrl B, or I'll come to this place. I'll hit on this place here to make it bold. And after that has been done, I'm going to increase the size. How can I increase the size? I can increase the size from here. So I'll just go. I think this is okay. So now I'm going to now make the subtitle italic. How do I do that? I'll head over to this place, I'll highlight it, and I'll head over to this place and I'll hit on italic here, or I can just Control I or Command I on MacBook. So now I'm going to make this size 14. So that is that about that. So what I want to do now is, my name has jumped to this point, so I'll just hit the cursor here and take it back. So it has gotten to the page back now. Confirm. Okay, that's the page. So I'll just Control E again, and I can just make this one bold. Control B. So here you have my title page. So now let's head over to the copyright page, and now this is my copyright. So it looks good. So extended to this page. Okay, so let me just leave it here. So this is my copyright page, but then it is not complete. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come over to this point here, give it a space, come up here, and then I'm going to add something very, very important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come on to insert, I'm going to come on to symbol, I'm going to hit on this, and then I'm going to give it a space and then type in copyright 2023 Emmanuel Ojo. Let me just remove this one and make this bold. take it back up here. So let me make this bold right now, bold. So this looks better. So now that I've done this, what I want to do is give this a little space. Okay, I think this is okay. So now that I've done this, I'm going to move on to the next. What I want to do now is now make sure that each of my chapters starts from a fresh page. So let me start with this. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to leave about, I'm going to make sure it's at the top, and I'm going to give it 1, 2. I'm going to hit on enter twice. That's how I like my book to look. It looks organized like that. So I'm going to make this Control E, and this one I'm going to make it bold and size 14. So let me make it size 14. So this looks good like this. You can see what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go to my next chapter. I'm going to do the same thing here. So guys, I forgot to mention something. I like my font to be in Times New Roman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to change my font to Times New Roman. So Times New Roman, enter. So there's going to be a little change. So I'm going to make sure that everything is still in order. Everything is still in order. I like a blank page to be after my title, but this is not the right way to do it because this one has a lot of unwanted it will affect your book if you are moving it. So what I want to do is I'm going to make sure I cancel this, make sure my copyright is here, and after I do that, what I want to do now is I'm going to come here, put my cursor here, and then hit on insert, and then hit on page break, and it's going to leave a blank space here and to make my book look organized. So now my book is in a good form. Everything is in Times New Roman and it looks good. So now that that has been done, my copyright looks okay so far. So now my introduction looks beautiful. Can you see what I'm saying? This is looking beautiful now. So we have our introduction. So we head over to our chapter 1. We move it to the next page, and my chapter 1, I'm going to make it bold, make it size 14. Do the same thing here as well. Make it bold, make it size 14. So my chapter 1, I think I should make it capital letter, uppercase all through. I think it makes sense. Control E. These two as well. Control E. So I think this is okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shift it down by 2. Always make sure you do that. It makes your book look beautiful. This paragraph is a lot, so I'm going to give this a space to make it look beautiful. Okay, this one too as well. Let me just, okay, this makes sense. So let me give it another paragraph. So this makes sense. So this one should have a space. Okay, so I think it looks good. So I'm going to head over to the next chapter now, which is my chapter 2. My chapter 2 is here. So what I want to do is make sure that it starts from a fresh page. So I'm going to scroll down. Chapter 2, fresh page. So I do the same thing here as well. Chapter 2, back, okay, Z, okay. Chapter 2, space. So Control E, chapter 2, these two, Control E. So I can just do like this, and Control B, 14. So this one, I can just make it all uppercase like I did with the first one, just to make it look okay. So I'm going to give it double spacing like I did. So this is how it should look. So this one can start here, and okay, it looks good. Economic factor starts here. Economic factor. So Now, these are all subtitles. So we're going to do some other stuff. So let's just finish up with this one. So I'll go to the next one like that, and I'll do the same thing as well. So that's how you can edit all your chapters to make it look very okay. So now we have that in place. So what I want to do now is to prepare a table of contents. So that's the next thing that we want to do. But there is a very easy way of creating a table of contents. You don't have to go through the process of typing everything from scratch. So what do you need to do now? You're going to tag your title and your subtitle. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. You're going to make sure you tag each of your heading and your subheading. They need to have a specific tag. So how do you do that? Now, this is a heading, this is a subheading. This is just like an example. This is a heading, this is a subheading, this is the main heading, chapter 1, this is a subheading. So now let's begin what I am trying to say. So we'll come over here. We'll start from the introduction. I will just highlight my introduction here and I'll make it heading 1. I'll hit on heading 1. So now it has changed the setting. What do? I'll just come here. I'm going to right click, hit on modify, and then change the font. From this, I'm going to change it to Times New Roman, and then I'm going to make it size 14. I can leave it as blue, but for paperback, I would advise that you use one color, because if you don't use one color, it's going to reduce your royalty. So, for example, let's assume you priced your book at around $14, and then after you sell, because of the fact that you are using two colors, let's assume you are supposed to receive maybe $6 or $7. You are going to be receiving, let's say, $4 because of the cost of printing. So let's just make it one color, because that is very, very important. One color. So let me just make it one color. And what else? Okay, I centralize it right now, and then I'm going to hit on OK. So now we have this. So now that I have this, that is good, and I'm going to move on. So now I'm going to move on to this one. I'm going to do the same thing here as well. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to hit on heading 1, and now this one is going to be my heading 2. So I'm going to hit on heading 2. I'm going to modify the same way I did before. I'll come here. I'm going to change it from now to Times New Roman. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to centralize it and make it size 14. And I'm going to say OK. So okay, let me change the color to black. Modify color black, black, black. So now that has been done. So this is okay. This is okay. Did I make it bold? I didn't make it bold. Okay, it's bold. Okay. So now this is okay. So now this is how it should look. This is my chapter 1. This is my heading. This is my subheading. This is my heading 2. This is my heading 1. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same thing for every other chapter. And then you can notice that there's some other subheadings here. You can make this heading 3. So you can just make this heading 3. You edit it, modify, change it to Times New Roman, and this to black. So you don't need much. So this is heading 3. You can do the same thing with all those ones. You can just target heading 3 like that. Heading 3. So now let's go to the other one and do the same thing. So now remember, this is your heading 1. You just come right here, you hit on heading 1, that is it. You come right here, you do heading 2, that is it. So always remember to give it space. Remember to give it space. So give it space like that. So now you go to chapter 3 and you do the same thing. Since it's 4 chapter, let me just finish everything. So you just heading 1, you do heading 2, you add your space, and that is how you go about this. So now that you've done all of this, you can create your table of contents easily. This is just first chapter. This is not how your book would look like. I hope you know that. So This one has a lot of spaces, so let me just do like this and bring this here. Trying to make my book look very beautiful. You should too. So this spaces here is not necessary. So what do? I just come here and I cancel. Remember, I gave it 2 spaces each. So 2 spaces each. So I just give it 1, 2. So 2 spaces each. So now this is how my book looks like. This one is not relevant. Just remove. So this is how my book looks like. It's making sense. It's looking okay so far. So it can just be space after paragraph. So okay, so that makes sense. So now that we've done all of that, so the next thing to now do is to give our book title pages. That's very, very important. So you need to give your book title pages. So how do you do that? So all you just need to do is head over to insert here, and then you come over to footer. So what I'd like to do, I like to give each of my page a custom design. So I'll just scroll down. I like to use this one here. You can use any of them that you feel you want to use. You can use this, but I like to use this one. So I'll just hit on it, and then it's going to bring all of this. So what I want to do is I'm going to type in the real estate revolution. So for every chapter, you have the real estate revolution as the title. So this makes sense, kind of very beautiful, but this doesn't look beautiful enough. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of some design to my book. So what can I do? I'll just head over to design. And after going to design, I can add page color, I can add page border. So you can just select any color you want. Select color that is very close to white. I can just do this color. So I can just say this now. So this is how my book looks like. Just for example, I'm just showing you how you can make your book look different and stand out. I can just add border. So let me just say, okay, I don't want my pages to look plain. So I can just say, okay, what can I do? Let me just select the style I want. I can just pick okay, let me just pick this style like this, and I can just say, okay, shadow. Just select shadow, and my book will look like this. So guys, you can see how beautiful the book is looking right now. So this is how to make your book look beautiful for your readers to enjoy. So this is how to create a paperback book. So you can see how beautiful this book looks right now. So this is how you can actually create your book and upload on Amazon. It will go. But then, guys, remember what I told you. If you are willing to show that the extra costs of how beautiful your book will look by the time the readers get the book, you can change the color of your pages. But if you don't want to incur any loss or any cost, you can just make your page color white. So even if you make your page color white, the book still looks okay. So this is how your book is going to appear. This is how your book is going to appear to your buyers. So now that this has been done, what I want to do now is I'm going to add the table of contents. Remember we linked all the heading and subheading? That was for a reason. So I'm going to add the table of content now to my book, so that at least my readers will be able to know what page has what heading and subheading. So what I want to do now is my table of content comes after my copyright. So what I want to do is come over to the introduction, click on put the cursor before the introduction, and then go to insert and hit on page break. So I have a blank page here. I'm going to come to this blank page. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go to reference, and I'm going to hit on table of contents, and then I can just say, okay, custom table of contents format. Let me make it formal. Okay, so this is how my table of content looks like now. So I think this is okay. So what I want to do now is I'm going to make sure everything is in Times New Roman like it was before. Let me just make it 14. Okay, I think it's okay like this. So this is my table of contents. So I like to leave a space after my table of content before I start my introduction as well. So I leave one space after my title, and I leave another space after my table of content. That's how I like doing my book anyway. So this is how the table of contents will look like. So now that we have this, one thing is the way we created this table of contents is very good because we're going to be needing it for our ebook. And for ebook, you don't need a specific size. For this one we use 5x8. For ebook, you don't need a specific size. You can just leave it like this. It's fine. You can change it to normal initial letter size, whatever you want. It doesn't matter the size you use for your ebook. But now the only thing I'm going to change now is make sure that my table of contents has a link. So I'm going to go back to my reference, my table of contents. So I'm going to go back to custom table of contents, and I'm going to make sure that I use hyperlink here. So this, so I can just use this one and then check. So replace table of contents. So now this is now having link. So whenever I click this, it will take me straight to the page. So let me just come to this one. I hit on it, chapter 3, control click. You see, it brought me straight to chapter 3. So this is important for the ebook. So you want to make sure that you have your table of contents linked for your ebook. So that's the only difference that you need for your ebook. So that's about that, guys. I hope I've been able to explain in details how you can format your book. So if you have any question, you can leave it in my comment section. I'm going to make sure I answer every single question that you guys throw at me in the comment section. So that's all about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.